Hi, loves. This is a random recording. I don't know where I'm going to post it, when I'm going to post it, but I felt inspired to record because the lovely Queen G, Georgia, who, depending on when you're listening to this or what I actually do with this video, I've just today released a podcast episode with her. She's sharing about her recovery journey and her extreme hunger and all the things. So go and check that out if you haven't already. And she asked me a few questions that I really want to answer. I don't know if it's a podcast episode because not everyone is in the position that Georgia is in terms of the questions, why she's asking the questions. But I wanted to record it, like I said. Who knows where I'm going to post it, but I wanted to record. I think I've said that 4 times now. Okay, Victoria, move on. So Georgia says, "Hi, love. I'm having 3 a.m. thoughts and I have an interesting question for you, perhaps an idea for a post or a podcast for you. How do you balance self-care, self-love with running your own business or queendom?" Love the fact she's used the word queendom. "What does a typical Victoria day or week look like?" Can't wait to answer this because I love talking about myself, as we all do. "What are the pros and cons of being your own boss? Is it how you imagined it to be? I'm looking forward to your answer. Hope you're doing well, looking after yourself, and really enjoying your content and your work as usual. Sending you all the love, Queen G." Thank you, Queen G. So let me answer the first question first. How do you balance self-care and self-love with running your own business queendom? I'm always honest with all of you, and it has been a learning experience. Now I've nailed it. I mean, there's always room for improvement, right? But I had to know what I didn't want. I had to know what didn't work for me in order to put systems in place, set boundaries with myself and with other people and with my phone. That's a big one. In order to have created what I have currently created, which is a business that works for me, not the other way around. Being my own boss, having my own freedom, and serving clients with the best of my energy. And how I do that is because I live my life with putting myself first, self-care, self-love first, and then I get to serve my clients with that overflow. I had to learn this though. So I've been in business about 6 years now. Gosh, time really does fly. And at the beginning, I didn't know what I was doing. I had a great mentor, aka my now husband, Wouter, who's had his business ever since he left school, his own business. But I still had to learn what didn't work for me. And I was such a people pleaser. And I care and cared, and I still care so much about others. It was really hard for me to set boundaries around helping people on my WhatsApp support, for example. So I'm just looking at the question again, so I'm not going off on a tangent. How do I balance self-care with running my business? Boundaries are the answer. So I had to set massive boundaries with my phone. Otherwise, I would literally be on my phone all the time, doing coaching calls, and then I'd be back on my phone again. And it was kind of burning me out. Like I wanted to help so much. And I love helping, and I did love helping then. But it was too much, and it got to a point where I was like absolutely exhausted and being like, oh my God, I need to check my WhatsApp again. But not because I didn't want to help people, but because I just was giving so much and I wasn't filling my own cup up first. So boundaries around my phone. Also having systems in place in terms of things that help me automate things. So to be honest, in my DMs, I have nothing automated because I want to reach out personally to people and respond to what people are asking because they're asking me, not a frigging bot, right? But I have automations like my email funnel. When someone signs up to my email list, like they're getting emails from me that I'm not having to type because they're already done. The biggest thing that serves me is my calendar, schedule, diary, agenda, whatever you want to call it. My English family laugh at me because I say the word agenda a lot, which is an American word. And they're like, oh, you're so American. And I'm like, well, you know why I say agenda? Because I don't know how to fucking spell schedule. I always get it wrong. I've not learned actually how to spell the word schedule. So I just say agenda because I'm typing it a lot and it's just easy for me to say, full honesty. So I have my days planned out. Now, again, learning curve, I used to be OCD with planning to the point where at this exact time I had to be doing my morning routine till this exact time. But the more blessed I've been in my business, the more my business is growing, the more income I'm generating, I can just relax the fuck out. Relax the fuck out. Does that even make sense? It does now. So I have my schedule, but I have a lot of space in the morning. I don't usually start coaching until about 1, depending on where my clients are and what time zone they're in. I'm of course flexible, and sometimes I start coaching at 10, but I have all the time in the world then to get up when I want, do whatever morning routine I have time for or I feel like doing, nourish myself, get ready for the day, and then get ready to serve. That feels better for me. I'll go into my day-to-day in a moment and my week-to-week, but scheduling and planning, for example, in an ideal world, in an ideal business, which is what I have now, I would like to do 2 coaching calls a day in the afternoon with an hour between. And that's how most of my days are. So you need to get clear on what you want and stick to your planning. So again, without being anal and OCD about it, if I put get ready at 10:30 and at 10:30, 11 o'clock, I'm still sat behind my phone, I'm failing my planning and it's going to have an impact on my day. So I need to get my ass in the shower to get ready. So planning in Google Calendar, like honestly, everything, if it's not in my Google Calendar, it's not happening. So planning is a big part of self-care and balancing my business. What else? God, I've got so much to say around this. In terms of serving clients, I've learned not to take things personally. And again, I had to go through this to learn. This is why coaching is so powerful, because you hire a coach so you don't have to make the mistakes they've made. They can tell you what works and what doesn't. And I've always had coaches, but not at the beginning with my business. Now I do. So I know what works and what doesn't. Number 1, because I figured it out myself. And number 2, I have a coach to supercharge me into where I want to be. Because I'm all about coaching, in case you didn't know. It's a fast track to get where you want to be. They show you your blind spots. I always work with a coach who is where I want to be. So my current coach is a guy called Michael Serwer, who is the highest paid coach in the UK. And he's a big softie, but he's almost on the line between being so confident, he's arrogant, he's not, but it's a very fine line. But he runs his business brilliantly, and I want to learn from him, so I am. So don't hire a coach unless you would swap lives or characteristics with that coach. Don't take advice from someone who hasn't got to where you want to be. That's a big point in what helps me balance my business, by having a coach myself. But in terms of like not taking things personally, there's a difference between caring so much about your clients, which I do deeply. Anyone who works with me honestly will feel that. They've reflected that back to me a million times over. They feel the genuine love and care and investment I have in them as a person, because I do. And I've had to learn emotionally not to take everything on me. For example, if they're struggling, which at some point they will, because, growing, you're going to get growing pains. It's hard to change. I would take that on like energetically, and it'd be very heavy. And I have so many energetic, not burdens, because none of my clients have ever been burdens, but you see what I'm saying? I was allowing myself to take that weight on, almost like I was doing it with them. And I realized that wasn't serving me either. All I can do is show up to the best of my ability by taking care of me first, planning in times for naps in the afternoon. Like, I love napping, or just relaxing on the sofa, reading a novel, making sure I planned when I'm going to fucking eat and nourish my body. That's important, because you can get so busy, you've not got time to eat, and that is not okay for me. So planning, as I've said probably like 3 times now, but not taking everything personally. That's how you balance your business and personal life. And being there for clients and genuinely caring, but also knowing that you can't do the work for them. And also, where I used to be in terms of like glued to WhatsApp every day, that's allowing the client to be in a codependent relationship with me, because I'm there like, oh my God, they need me, they need me, they need me. And the clients thought they needed me. And so I wasn't actually giving them space to stand in their own power and make decisions by themselves and have that space to do that. So now I've got this beautiful balance of absolutely I'm there for them on WhatsApp, but I have boundaries with my phone, and actually the space sometimes that they need, or because I'm not there like within a second of them messaging me, it's the same day, but not within the second like it used to be, then they actually don't get codependent. And that's a big, big thing. So that's something I've learned. I can talk so much about that. I'm going to stop talking to that question and go to the next one. What does a typical Victoria day or Victoria week looks like? So a typical day, a typical week, I guess is a better way to view it, is I have every single Sunday as a Victoria day where I have 0 things planned, apart from social stuff if I want to do the social thing. And then also on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, depending on the week, I will have a Victoria day in the week as well. So I've got 2 days off, if you like, from coaching, 2 days off a week. I will look at my phone in the week, but on a Sunday, I don't look at my phone at all. So Sunday is the only day I'm not like contactable by clients on Sunday. And the other day in the week, I'm there for them on WhatsApp, but I'm not taking calls. I'm not creating content. I do whatever I want to do. Sometimes I'll go to the sauna. Sometimes I just read all day, whatever I want to do. That's important to me to have that space. The rest of the week, I have one content creation day. So that's 3 days out of the week so far, 2 days completely doing nothing much at all. One day having a content creation day where I will create a podcast episode. Usually I'll write a blog, create a podcast episode, do some social media planning. It's a creation day. I'm not having client calls on that day. So then that's 3 days. There's 7 days in a week. So you've got 4 days left. Good maths, Victoria. So the other 4 days are when I have my client calls. So I have sometimes 3 calls a day, but typically only 2, because that's how I want to run my business. I also have so much more energy to show up on WhatsApp, on my calls with my energy and all the things. So a typical day then would look like me getting up whenever the hell I get up, which I'm so blessed to be able to do that with no alarm. In fact, I tell a lie, the only day I have an alarm is the days that we have a personal training session where I have to be at a gym at a certain time at 9 o'clock. So, but usually I'm awake before that. So I get up around, God, I used to get up so early. I used to get up at like 5. Now I tend to get up at like 7:30, just because I do. Get up at 7:30, go for a wee, brush my teeth, get clothes on, directly go outside with my dog. I am a horse girl at heart, and I've worked with horses my entire life up until when I was 30. So even when I was at school, I was blessed to have my own pony that I bought with my own money that my grandma left me. And I would go before school to the stables. I would go after school. I would go every day, every weekend. So I'm a morning person, and I love to get outside in the morning, no matter what the weather. If I've not gone outside within like 10 minutes of waking up, I feel so off. So I go outside and walk my dog, usually walk for about 45 minutes, depending on where he wants to go. And I say that because he decides where he wants to go. He's that spoiled. I'm just like, Hero, where do you want to go today? Show mommy. And then he takes me wherever he wants to go, usually about 45 minutes. Then I get back and I have my breakfast. So whatever that is, pancakes, oats, overnight oats, sometimes like a banana quinoa, how we have to spell that, grain thingy, some kind of grains, bananas, milk, nuts, jam, honey, that kind of stuff, depending on how I feel. Have my breakfast. Then I will usually reply to my client messages on my my coaching WhatsApp. So I'll reply to client messages. Then I will go on my support group and reply to people in my paid support group first, and then in my free support group. Then I will go on Instagram and reply to DMs and then notifications. I'm not really active on Facebook, but sometimes if I've got time left over, I'll just like check Facebook to see if there's anything going on there. And my DMs on Facebook. And then I will go and have a shower and get ready for the day, brush my hair, do my makeup, get changed, etc. And then I might have a client call, or I might read and chill out for a bit, or check my emails, faff around on my laptop, and then I usually eat again if I'm not at the gym. The gym's in between after breakfast if I go to the gym. Then I have a shower, get ready, then eat again, and then walk my dog again, usually with my husband. And then I get back and it's about 12:30ish. Then usually I'm coaching in the afternoons. In the middle of the coaching calls, whether the break, I'm chatting with my husband or sitting outside in the sun or reading a book. I try not to faff around on my laptop because you can faff so much, and just chill the fuck out, whatever I want to do. My life's good, isn't it? Then I have another coaching call usually, and sometimes a podcast recording. I'm interviewing someone or I'm being interviewed, etc. And then like this time around 5-ish when I'm recording this, after this, I would go downstairs. Me and my husband will cook dinner together with some music on. I'll enjoy some dinner. In the afternoon, if I'm hungry, I'll have a snack, by the way, forgot that point. And then after dinner, we'll walk out dog and then I'll read again. I just love reading novels these days. And then we'll watch a series together or something with another snack, usually like some chocolate or a cereal bar or some yogurt and peanut butter and honey, whatever I fancy. And then I go to bed about 9:30-ish, take my makeup off, brush my teeth, all the things. When I'm in bed, I've practiced gratitude, like what I was grateful for that day, and just connect with my body, and then off I go to sleep. So that's like a typical day in Victoria Worlds. Of course, when I have a content creation day, it's a bit different, but the morning routine's the same. And if I go to the gym, which I have a personal training session 3 times a week, I have my breakfast, then I go to the gym, then I come back and do the same routine, client messages, getting ready, etc. And on the days where I have as a Victoria day, whatever the hell I want to do. What else did you ask? So, what are the pros and cons of being your own boss? Is it how you imagined it to be? Is it how I imagined it to be? I'm going to ask that first. I don't know, because I didn't really take the time, honestly, to imagine what it would be like to have my own business. I just knew I wanted to help people. Service has always been my driver in business, being of service and helping people. And then success, whatever you make that word mean, it comes and it has come from me being my driving force, being love and support, and how can I serve people. I have so much free content and I give so much away because I care so deeply and want to help. And because I now value myself and I now value my value, I charge good money to work with me, because rightly so, like, you're not just trading my time for money. You're trading my lived experiences of eating disorders for 20 years, how I've recovered from that, the tens of thousands of euros I've invested and still invest in myself with my coaches and programs and courses and everything, my wisdom, my consistent learning, like, it's not just time for money. So in order to receive like one-to-one support, be in my world, for you to be my person to serve, it's going to cost you, right? And I have a sliding scale, so it's accessible for most people. And if it's not accessible, then I have my group, which is like 49 euros a month. And I've got all my free content, my podcasts and things like that. So I feel congruent with the levels of support I offer and the investment. And I know working with me directly is so valuable. And so I charge accordingly. And I say charge in a weird way because it's not a cost, it's an investment in yourself. A cost is just a cost. An investment, you always get something in return. And that's usually the life of your dreams, getting to know yourself, self-love, all the things, right? I've gone off on a tangent. Is it how I imagined it to be? Like I say, I don't really know. However, I did know I wanted freedom. I hate being told what to do. In my workplaces, I hated being told what to do. I had a lot of freedom working with horses from when I left school at 16 to when I was 30, but I did have a normal job after that at 30, where I worked as a client account manager and as a customer service representative in a bank. So I was dealing with people, which I love, but I also wasn't as free. I had to ask if I could go to the fucking toilet. I had to ask if I could have a holiday. I had to ask if I could do this and ask if I could do that. And I didn't like it. I felt very restricted. So envisioning having my own business, freedom was and is my top value. So I would just know that I could plan my own days. And if I wanted to go to the toilet, I would just go. If I wanted to have holiday, I would just have holiday. Like, I liked not being in control, but I liked calling the shots. And in order to have your own business, in order to live in freedom, you have to take responsibility for yourself, for your business, for your income. You have to take responsibility and don't shy away from that, because if you want freedom, it comes at a cost. You've got to be responsible and have systems in place and things like that. So I don't know if it was what I envisioned, because I didn't really have a vision, to be honest. I just had a feeling that I wanted to help people. The pros and cons of being my own boss. Oh my God, so many pros. I get to structure my days however I want. I'm in a place in my business now where I get to choose who I want to work with. And what I mean by that is I will only take on clients if I absolutely know I can help them reach all of their goals, because that feels good for me to be able to almost promise a client, like, yeah, in this time scale of working together, if you follow my guidance, you will get to where you want to be, almost guaranteed. I'm that confident in my ability to support you to what you say you want. So if someone is wanting something that I'm not fully able to support them with, like it might be, okay, Victoria, in 6 months' time, I want to have sold my house and be living in Africa. Like, I can't guarantee that, right? Through my coaching, I can help you take steps towards that, but I can't guarantee that. Or if someone's like, I want to lose weight, I can't guarantee that either. So depending on how set they are at losing weight, depending on where they are in their set point weight, depending on what kind of eating disorder they're struggling with, I can't guarantee that, because we can't control our bodies. So I will only take clients on when they fully know what I can help them achieve. And also, this honestly probably happened like twice. If I don't want to work with the person for whatever reason, I don't have to anymore, because I'm so far along in business in terms of financial success, whatever that means to you. I don't need clients. I get to choose who I work with. And that is such a privilege, such a privileged place to be. Whereas when I first started my business, it was like, any client, please come to me. I want to help you and I need the money. But now it's like, okay, we're in a great place financially. My business just ticks it over itself. Like, I have incredibly aligned clients who pay for that one-to-one support. And if I don't want to work with you, then we're not going to work together. And I don't mean that from an arrogant perspective. I mean it from, we need to click, right? So the pros, that's a big pro, working with incredibly aligned people, mainly women. And then obviously it's so rewarding as a coach when they're doing what they say they will do with your support. It's so rewarding to celebrate them and to just watch them flourish and come back home to self-love. It's just the best feeling ever. And like, let go of the eating disorder that's ruled them for so long. So rewarding. I get to plan my day. I think I've said that. Freedom. I have so much freedom. The cons, although I don't see them as cons, but they are part of being a business owner, I don't know if I'm going to get paid 1 month to the next. I mean, that hasn't happened for years, but you don't know that. You can't guarantee that. There's no one at the top giving me a wage every month. It just depends what clients find me. Potential clients find me on Instagram, or usually my podcast is my main marketing machine without me even making it a marketing machine. I just serve people and people find me and contact me. I have a few Google ads running, which obviously costs a lot of money. Depending on how people find me, if they're willing and ready to work with me, depends on how many clients I get that month. So it's being in the unknown, which I'm totally fine with, but I've had to learn how to be okay with, and just trusting that it will come and will always be supported, and abundance is always coming my way. I've done a lot of money mindset work and money work with my nervous system, with my bestie, Rebecca Kiger. She's helped me a lot with that. So always working on myself with things behind the scenes and energetically. So the cons is like not knowing what you're going to get paid this month. The cons is, I guess, if you're sick or you can't work, you don't get paid unless you have like a special insurance. But me and Wouter, my husband, like kind of say, look, if I can't sit here on a chair and coach, then shoot me now. Because if I lose a leg, I can still sit and fucking coach, right? I need to be in my good state of mind to coach. But if we can't coach for whatever reason, I don't want to be alive, to be honest, because coaching is speaking to people, reflecting and using your brain. If I can't do those things and sit down, then God forbid, I don't want to be here. So I guess if you're sick, you don't get paid. But the way I structure my business, I do, because I have coaching packages of like 4 to 6 months. And we have this whole time together. So it's not like a day or anything like that. What other cons are there? You always think about your business all the time. And that's not necessarily a con, but if you work for a job that you don't particularly love, you can just switch off at 5 o'clock at the weekend, off you go. You don't think about work, perhaps. Not everyone can do that. Or if you're on holiday, you're just like completely switched off. Coaching is who I am. Coaching is my life. I'm always thinking about my clients and my business. Sometimes in the middle of the night, I'm like, oh my God, that's a great idea to introduce this thing for my business. Or I'm thinking of like a particular client where I'm like, what can I do to like really help this client move past this thing right now? And you're never switched off. That's why self-care is really important. Any more cons? Don't think so. So many pros. You grow so much as a person, personally and spiritually, running your own business. You learn how to surrender, you learn how to trust, you learn how to value yourself. There's so many pros to be running your own business. And the biggest pro is serving people and getting to see them grow and to return home to self-love and to flourish. It's indescribable. So it's a win-win. I have so much to say around this, and I've been speaking for almost half an hour. So let me know wherever I end up posting this, if you liked this, if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to answer. All right, much love, my queens.